Hello and welcome to Scott's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a really easy recipe. We're going to do burritos. Lily and I, we are going on a little vacation, a little trip in the RV in a couple of days, and we started thinking about the food. As you know, probably from our travel videos, we just bought a new RV. We're getting ready to go on our first trip with it, and we're super excited, but we started to think about what are we going to eat. We are going to be there just one night and then one morning. We're going to be driving kind of in the afternoon and evening, so when we get there, it's not going to be a lot of time to prepare a meal. So I thought, what can I do to prepare ahead of time? So I thought, well, why don't I make burritos? I already made some breakfast burritos that we can eat the next morning, but then I thought, well, why don't I make some other burritos? So I have some canned pork or carnitas and a few other things that I was going to add. I kind of call this like the kitchen sink burrito because I add everything else in there. I have some leftover rice and an onion and a little bit of salsa, some leftover jalapenos, and just kind of throw everything in there. Cheese, put it in a burrito. It's going to be super delicious. The breakfast burritos that I already made those yesterday. And they're a very similar procedure to what I'm going to do today. The only thing different is the potatoes, because the breakfast burritos have some bacon and ham, cheese, and scrambled eggs. And that goes in a burrito, but you also have the potatoes. The hard part about the potatoes is they take the longest. And so I just took a regular potato, washed it, chopped it up, put it in a bowl with some avocado oil and Monterey steak seasoning, and then the quickest way I found is throw it into my air fryer. So just pop it into the air fryer, get it going. I do that first, and then by the time those are done, I stir them every few minutes or so. They're all nice and brown and crispy and everything by the time everything else is done. So one of the most important things about cooking is the sequence. And the sequence is determined by the length of cooking of the ingredients. So you always want to start with your longest cooking ingredients first. In this case, if you're talking about a breakfast burrito, it's the potatoes. Those are going to take the longest. Then you have your meat. You might brown the bacon and the ham a little bit. Then you're going to add your egg. That cooks really quickly. And cheese at the very end, you just need to melt that a bit. And by that time, the potatoes are done. What I've seen a lot of new cooks do is they get started and they make everything, and then at the end they're ready to wrap their burritos and they didn't cook the potatoes yet, and then that takes the longest. So it ends up being a very long, involved process. So let's get started making the burritos today. It's a fun, easy thing to do, and I think I have a lot of little good tips along the way that will help you out. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is put the meat. I've got the fire going in the pan, and just kind of get this going, and turn the fire up a little bit on that, and kind of chop it up a bit. I know it doesn't look very appetizing right now, but it'll be great. And I'll also add my leftover jalapenos. We diced them for something. I forget what we did that for. And kind of wait for that to start heating up. And then let's cut an onion. So I've seen a lot of different cooking shows cut onions. It seems like something that every cooking show kind of does. But in my opinion, they kind of all do them wrong. So I'm going to show you, I don't know if it's the right way, but it's the way that I do it. So just start by cutting off the ends, make a slit, and then peel. I don't have a lot of onions in here, just one will do. So then what do? You have a peeled onion, you have it there. What I do is cut it in half, then take it like this, and use your finger to kind of hold it in place. Try not to stab yourself. A nice sharp knife is always helpful. Just make them like that. I've seen so many complicated Then you turn it 90 degrees. So you got all the slits here, but then all the onion naturally already is divided right here. So you can kind of work with your natural dividing lines of the onion. And then you just start like this, kind of pushing and letting the knife just cut. I'm not using a lot of pressure. You just dice it nice and fine. And then that's it. And you may say, oh, well, you don't have that up. Well, you just look at that. It just falls apart. And then you have a nice diced onion that you can put. So let me do that one more time if you want to watch. So you have the half. And as you can see, this is pretty fast. It doesn't really take a lot of time. And I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like I get teary-eyed. So I don't know if it's the method that I'm using, but I see people, they just, you know, their eyes are just watering like crazy when they're cutting an onion. This method doesn't seem to, that doesn't seem to be a problem. So there's our onion. Let's put them in the pan. All right, so now that we've diced our onion and the pan's starting to heat up, we can just put it in there. I know that looks like a lot of onion, but really it's going to cook down to be kind of a smaller amount, and it's not going to be that bad. So now's a good time to start adding some spices to it. And we can add some black pepper. I like the coarse ground, and I like a lot. So let's just add a lot of that to it. I know this seems like it's going to be a lot, but pepper's good for you. One thing I don't add almost ever is adding to any of my recipes is salt. Salt's really not that good for you. There's enough salt in all the other stuff, the cheese, the meat, the refried beans, everything has salt in it already. You don't need to be salting anything. So another seasoning that I like, of course, is Tapatio, my personal favorite. And we're going to add a lot of that. Because Lily and I like spicy food. It may be a little bit too much for some people, but I'm making it how I like it. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about was reheating. So we're out camping and you've got your breakfast burritos here and your regular burritos there. Also, what I'm going to do is mark them. Just get a marks a lot and put breakfast and then put dinner maybe on that. So, I mean, anyway, you just throw them on a barbecue, throw them on top of the fire. If you have a microwave, unwrap it. Our RV is very simple. We just have a couple of burners. So what I'm going to do is just have a burner on low, drop the burrito in a pan, and put a lid on it. And just kind of let it heat that way for, 10-15 minutes. All you have to do is heat it. Everything's already cooked. And it should be delicious. So I was trying to figure out something else to put in here. So I was rummaging through the refrigerator and I found this. This is from The Habit. A couple of days ago, I had got some of these for Lily, and she wasn't in the mood for jalapenos at the time. So I thought, well, so I put them in the refrigerator and I thought, well, I'll use them in something. And so we're just going to kind of dice them up. By the way, beautiful sharp knife. Thank you, bro. It's my brother Darren gave that to me, and I use it every day. So just kind of, I don't know, there's not really a method to doing this, just dicing it up. And let's throw it in the pan. And in it goes. Beautiful. That's going to add a lot of really good flavor. And we use some leftovers. Ooh, that's starting to come along nicely. Oh my gosh, the smell. The smell is so good. With the onions and the tapatio. Just kind of breaking all this stuff up. So now's the time when I want to add some of that leftover rice, just to give it kind of some bulk and get it, do something with it. So I'll probably not really use this rice for anything else. It's It's been in there for a few days, so it's probably kind of at the end of its life. Maybe just about that much more, but I don't want to put the whole thing in because then you end up with a rice burrito, and we don't want that. So you think, well, that's just plain white rice. That's not going to taste very good. And we have this. Oh, the smell of that is so good. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a great Mexican smell, Mexican salsa smell. I love the brand. Not sponsored, but and that's going to season our rice. So then all of a sudden you have sort of a Spanish rice with 1 can of something that costs like less than $1. And everybody's like, how'd you do it? How'd you do the rice? And you just go, oh, well, it's my family secret, sorry. So I'm just kind of breaking up the rice. It kind of tends to clump when it's cold out of the refrigerator. Just breaking it up, and it's going to absorb all of that good flavor of the onions and the jalapenos and the red sauce, and that's just going to be great in a burrito. And then, if we didn't have enough stuff in there, let's add some of these refried beans. And of course, this is like spicy jalapeno. Always whatever version of something you have, rather than just plain refried beans, look for the other versions. The supermarket has great things that different flavors of tomatoes and things like that, and it's really fun and adds a lot of flavor, although it does add a lot of salt, so you got to be careful of that. That's something that Sam the cooking guy was kind of giving me heads up on, was just like, go when you're at the market and you see a flavor of something, give it a try. Everything you add in your recipe adds flavor, and that's good. I don't think I'm going to use the whole thing. I'll probably take this and put it in a little container and save that for some of the recipe. Just let that cook for a while, stirring occasionally. Kind of breaking up the refried beans. Sometimes it gets a little clumpy. And you don't want to get a big mouthful of clumpy refried beans. Got the heat up pretty high right now, as you can see. Okay, so that's done. Everything is cooked, so you really don't need to, cook anything. The carnitas were cooked, and the rice and everything. So I really just needed to kind of heat it up and cook it together. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to start on the tortillas. Okay, so let's get the tortillas going. Now, I took this tortilla right out of the bag. You're not going to be able to roll a burrito with it like this. So what's going to happen is you're going to start rolling it, and it's going to rip. So what you have to do is you have to soften it up a little bit. Tried lots of different ways. I could just put it on top of the pan and kind of let it go and heat it up that way, but that's not really a very good way, and so this is the best way that I found. So what I like to do, because I have so much of this cheese, Stater Brothers, love Stater Brothers brand products, and they just do such a good job with all of their stuff. I know this seems like a lot. Oh, maybe that is too much. Let's put that back in there. Okay, so lots of cheese. We like cheese, don't we? Yes. You know what we're going to do is we're going to pop this in the microwave. Okay, so I'm just going to take my tortilla, the way it is, right like this. And I'm just going to put it in there for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. Maybe not even that long. Let's see. So I just took this out of the microwave. It's nice and pliable now, and the cheese has started to melt. And took about 45 seconds. The rest of the cheese, this cheese is going to melt with the filling. And I've just got the filling sitting in the pot, the pan kind of waiting to cool. And we'll just kind of add it there. And the way you fold the burrito, maybe a little bit more. The way you fold the burrito, kind of get it in a burrito shape. Fold these ears in, these over, and then do the pull back. And using your pinkies to tuck in the corners as you're rolling. Burrito shape, tucking in with my pinkies kind of here. and rolling, 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 rolling until it's a perfect burrito. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. All right, one more. More cheese, grommet. I don't know if any of you are fans of Wallace and Gromit, but I love it. If you're not, look it up. It's great. It's fun. We're just going to put that in the microwave. It makes it so easy. And then just hit the 30-second button. And we'll do that again. Okay, just taking this gently out of the microwave. And then getting our filling. Just wanted to show you like one more time rolling that burrito. It's actually a technique that my brother showed me, Darren. Thank you very much, bro. He spent many of his formative years working at Taco Bell. Apparently that's one of the skills that you have to learn working in Taco Bell. Fold ears in, and it's the pullback. The pullback is the key as you're rolling. Rolling, rolling, just gently, with love. Kind of add some love to it. And then you have your nice burrito there. You can tuck my ears in. And there we go. Oop, gotta eat that little piece. All right, and as always, you know what this job needs. A cold, refreshing beverage. Last night we went to Costco and got a hot dog. And, comes with a soda. We did not want to drink the soda last night. Took it home, but don't add any ice. Just add your beverage, and then put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day you can add your ice. That's a tech tip. Okay, so I made too much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it in this container. Sorry about the sound there. And this has cooled a little bit, but it's still a little warm. It's not piping hot anymore. So just put this in here like this. And we can save that for some other recipe. Taquitos, other burritos, we can do tacos, we can do all kinds of stuff. And that's going to be great. So now I'm going to show you one of my secrets. You could just eat the burritos like this. They're just fine. You know, they're yummy, but they're a little bit soft and I don't know, kind of fall apart. I like to add a little bit of stiffness to the burrito. No pun intended. But the way I do it is my patented technique called the fake chimichanga. So chimichanga is a deep fried burrito. So traditionally you would take the whole burrito and you would deep fry this whole thing. What we're going to do is kind of do it in the fake way. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oil, avocado oil, to the pan. I've got the fire on kind of low. I'm going to spread it along, and the key here is do not clean the pan, because you've got all that from the filling. You've got all that great flavor that's going to impart itself onto the tortilla shell, and that's going to add a lot of good flavor. So I just put my burritos in there, kind of on low, and let it cook for a while, and we'll see what happens. Okay, let's check how we're doing. Hey, we're getting there. All right, look at that. So just golden brown on the other side. And then we'll be ready to wrap. Burritos, order up. Just turning them up on the end to get all four sides. The bottom looks really good. You hear that? That's crispy. This bottom looks fantastic. Now I'm just going to turn them over one more time, and then we'll be ready to wrap. And the last side, look at how crispy that is. Baked chimichangas. At this point, you can turn off the stove. That last little bit of heat will cook them just nicely. Okay, so we are done with the burritos. I'm going to show you how to wrap them up for travel. Put it so the point is facing toward you. Grab your burrito, put it like this, sideways, those points, and then kind of like folding the burrito a little bit. You just fold this end in, like that, and then we roll. One more time. Put your burrito, your ears in, fold it over. And then we'll just let those cool before we put them in the refrigerator, and we'll have a great snack. So now I have breakfast and dinner. All we have to do is put these in the refrigerator in the RV, and all of our food is taken care of. Oh my, I just discovered that we have a really serious problem. We have one burrito left over, and it's hot and delicious. So, you know, sometimes we all make mistakes. Don't kick yourself for making such a mistake. There's always a solution to every problem. But the only thing I could think of is I've got to eat this. Little top of the tail. That is delicious. Thanks for watching Scott's Kitchen. Till next time.